You know, in the vast emptiness of space, some things are probably better off just staying lost. Today, we're diving into what happens when a ship that literally went to hell decides to phone home.
So what if that ship, the infamous Event Horizon, wasn't actually destroyed? What if its twisted, malevolent consciousness somehow survived that massive explosion and has just been waiting? That's the absolutely terrifying idea we're going to unpack right now.
So, picture this. Years have passed since the original disaster. The few survivors are understandably haunted. The world, for the most part, has moved on. And then, a signal cuts through the dead silence of space.
And this is a signal that shouldn't exist. No way. It's carrying the unique digital signature of the Event Horizon, and it's broadcasting from the exact spot where the ship was supposedly blown to bits. You just can't ignore something like that. So a new mission gets the green light.
Yeah. On paper, the mission plan seems pretty straightforward, right? Go check it out, figure out what happened, and make sure this nightmare is finally over for good. But let's be real, the last crew who boarded the Event Horizon had a simple mission too. And when it comes to this ship, nothing is ever simple.
To face whatever this is, they put together a top-notch crew for a brand new ship, the Horizon Seeker. You've got your no-nonsense leader, Captain Reyes, the brilliant engineer, Engineer Patel, who can fix anything, Officer Hayes on security, the skeptic who's seen it all, but then, look at the other two. You've got Dr. Reinhardt, an astrophysicist who's completely obsessed with black holes, and Dr. Vasquez, a psychic researcher. The fact that they thought they needed a psychic, well, that tells you everything you need to know about what they were expecting to find.
The Horizon Seeker gets to its destination, and there it is, the shredded, twisted remains of the Event Horizon, just drifting there like a ghost in the shadow of a black hole. The crew suits up. They're about to step inside a tomb.
The moment they get inside, it's just eerie. The corridors are pitch black, dead silent, and unnaturally cold. They find crew quarters where it looks like people just dropped everything and ran for their lives. And then they find the logs. Just fragments, but enough to piece together Dr. Weir's chilling descent into madness and his obsession with that chaos dimension. So the crew realizes pretty quick they're not just dealing with some run-of-the-mill haunting. This isn't a monster you can just shoot. No, the enemy is an intelligent, evil force that's basically become the ship's operating system. It's a psychic parasite that literally feeds on fear. And the terrifying part? It already knows exactly what scares every single one of them.
And then, deep inside the wreckage, they find the one thing that should be impossible. The ship's heart is still beating. The gravity drive, that terrifying device that ripped a hole in space-time, it's trying to power itself back up. That signal they picked up, it wasn't a cry for help. It was bait.
The second the crew understands what's happening, the ship drops the act. The hunt is on. And the battle isn't going to be fought in the cold corridors. It's going to be fought inside their own heads.
This is where it gets personal, really personal. The presence doesn't just make things go bump in the night. It weaponizes their past traumas, their worst anxieties. It customizes the horror for every single member of the crew. For the stoic Captain Reyes, it hits him with his deepest guilt. He's forced to relive missions gone wrong, to see and hear the ghosts of soldiers he couldn't save, all of them blaming him. For Dr. Reinhardt, the astrophysicist, the ship twists his scientific passion into absolute cosmic dread. It shows him visions of black holes, not as natural phenomena, but as living predators, swallowing whole civilizations while the universe just screams.
And for Engineer Patel, the pragmatic one who trusts her tools and her skills above all else, the ship attacks her confidence. She starts seeing critical systems failing, hearing alarms that aren't real, making her doubt her own two eyes.
And as the crew's minds start to fracture, so does the ship itself. Reality starts to bend. Hallways stretch on forever. Doors open into places they couldn't possibly lead. Time gets all scrambled. Suddenly, escaping isn't just about getting to the airlock anymore.
This all barrels towards the only possible conclusion, a final, desperate fight for survival, right in the most dangerous part of the ship, the core chamber.
But here's the big twist. The worst threat isn't just the ship.
It's one of their own. Dr. Reinhardt, his scientific curiosity gets twisted into a dark obsession. The presence promises him everything. All the knowledge in the universe if he'll just help it open the gateway. He goes from being a scientist to being a high priest for this thing from another dimension.
Okay, the end is just pure chaos. The core surges, and the gateway to that hell dimension starts ripping open. Reinhardt betrays everyone, trying to finish the job. Captain Reyes, seeing no other way out, sacrifices himself to create a distraction. In that split second, Dr. Vasquez unleashes her full psychic power and slams the gateway shut. But now the core is going critical. In one last moment of clarity, Reinhardt redeems himself, using his knowledge to stabilize the core, but it cost him his life.
So, they won. But the victory is just soaked in loss. The survivors now have to somehow go on living with what they saw and what they had to do to survive.
They get back to Earth, and of course, they're hailed as heroes. But they're also changed, forever scarred. Dr. Vasquez devotes her entire life to studying the kind of forces they faced out there. Patel dedicates herself to engineering, making sure a ship can never fail like that again. And Hayes? He trains the next generation of astronauts, teaching them the brutal lessons he learned. They're trying to build something good from all that horror.
But there's one last, absolutely chilling discovery buried in the ship's data logs they brought back. First, they find evidence of ancient non-human tech fused into the ship's core. And then, something else. In the dead silence between the recorded transmissions, there are faint whispers, a terrifying hint that while the door may be closed, the thing on the other side, it's still there, still listening. And that echo of fear, it may never truly fade away.